Hey everybody, I'm Tommy Scoville and this is the Tommy Scoville Show. Folks, the good news is, the general consensus is that this is a much better setup than the previous recording and audio sound. So hopefully everyone is in agreement. So far so good. This is hopefully going to get us a better sound quality. I know that that's been an issue in the beginning. But as I've said in the comment section, I'm not sure that I've ever said this out loud, but people, I didn't think this was going to take off as quick as it did. Honestly, there was a risk involved in what, in starting this channel. For those who have come over from Wages World, or those that have found me any other way, I'm Johnny Scoville's little brother, right? You figured that out. The world thought I was going to do a pepper channel. I mean, that was pretty much, the general consensus was that this would be a pepper channel, and there wasn't much risk in me doing a pepper channel as a Scoville. But what I'm doing is near and dear to my heart, but I wasn't sure how it was going to be, how it was going to go over. And it's gone over so much better than I thought it was going to. And I was hoping for a lot, but this has just been, not that I didn't think I could do it, but I just didn't think that everybody would get it, because this show is, as much as really nice things are said about me, and I appreciate it, I really do, but this show, and it's not a cliche, it really is about you. Read the comment section and you'll get just as much intelligence and just as much caring and just as much everything that I could possibly give you, you're going to get in the comment section. And that was the dream of this show, is that there's a reason we call this the boat, right? It's not because I'm the captain. It's because we really are all in the same boat. And there are people who are in different phases of the process, and those who are, been sober for a minute, have an awful lot of wisdom and things that they can impart in terms of how they were able to beat this insidious disease. So the earlier video was really a sort of a test fire, and because it seemed kind of appropriate to talk about, the success being a trigger for me, because the channel is doing well, and there's been so many comments congratulating me on the, on the 1,000 subscribers. It did come really quick. I really appreciate it. I didn't do it, you did, but I really appreciate it. But this video, I'm more excited about this video than just about anything. Truthfully, this is awesome, and I hope that this video gets... I hope a lot of people see this, because this video, this is good stuff, people. And you're not going to hear this anywhere. This is just not something that you're going to hear. So I talk all the time, probably to the point where you're sick of hearing it, but I talk all the time about how if you're not keeping yourself busy, if there's not things to do, then you really are more likely to relapse and to start doing drugs again. And maybe that sounds really obvious. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe this is something that hasn't occurred to you. But let me tell you about a study that's absolutely fascinating. And because it doesn't really fit any kind of model, it just doesn't get a whole lot of ink. But do you remember the commercial back in the 80s? They had a picture of a video of a mouse. It was a white, I believe. It could have been a rat, but it was a little lab rodent who would sit and hit the feeder button and get given cocaine. And the little, caption said that, the mouse, much like they would, say humans were the same way, they would just keep hitting that feeder button until the cocaine killed it. They wouldn't go to the food, they wouldn't drink water, they would just keep hitting that to get cocaine until it killed them. And it was a great ad for what it was trying to get across. However, there was a study done that took rodents, and they did the exact same setup. They took the rodent, they put it in the box, they had the little thing with the feeder bar, so all it had to do was go over there and hit that feeder bar, and they were going to get a dose of cocaine. But they did something else that was unique. They put in a wheel for the thing to run on. They put these little maze things to go through. They put food in different places. They put females in, so that this animal was not in there alone. They put a whole small little community of rodents. And here's what they found out. They found out that most assuredly, there were mice that were going to go over there and hit that feeder bar until it took them off the planet. But it wasn't going to be all of them. No. When there was plenty to do, there were mice that would continue to kill themselves, but it was really a small number. It was less than 10%. that just crashed and burned and did that. The majority of them left it alone, literally. They would test it, try it out, but over a period of time would stop going to it, and then they would eat, they would go work out, get on the wheel, they would spend time with the ladies, you know, and they would do all of these different things. And society doesn't want us to harp on the fact that really, truthfully, you know, look at alcohol. You can get alcohol anywhere. So many people drink. There are people listening to me who drink that don't have drinking problems, right? But there's going to be that 5 to 10% that it owns, right? I'm one of those people. It's not drinking, but I'm owned by my addictions. That's just one that doesn't seem to fit me. But every other one did. Boy, I mean, I was one of those people that could get addicted to cocaine and get addicted to heroin. And I don't just mean speedballs at different times. I could get addicted to methamphetamines, and I could get addicted to benzodiazepines. So it didn't even matter if the drug was going up or down, because I had such an addictive personality. Unless the buzz is something that I expressly don't like an alcohol buzz, or a severe alcohol buzz. You know, a couple of beers, but you know, you start getting up around 6, 7 beers. It's just not a feeling I like. I never wanted to feel that I wasn't in control, and I always felt like on drugs, I was in control. I don't mean that I was in control of my life. I meant if you walked into a room, you wouldn't know I was on it. In fact, the standard you know, thing that people used to say about me is that you never knew Tommy was on dope unless you saw him sober, because that really was the truth. Because my behavior was quite normal unless you saw me sober, and then all of a sudden you're like, what is wrong with him? Is he on dope? No, he's not. You know, the problem is he's not on dope. But folks, this is really important. I mean, this is landmark, like shake the room kind of important, because it proves exactly what we're talking about. If you structure your life in such a way that there's some exercise, there's the ability to talk to somebody of the opposite sex, there's the ability to eat decent food, there's the ability to challenge yourself mentally, like the maze, right? All of these different things. If you structure your life so that work is a big part of it, so that, well, that was odd, so that work is a big part of it, so all of these things are in place, then you're not going to find yourself at the same, you know, the same desires and the same triggers, and all of the things that we fight while we're trying to get sober are non-issues if you have things to do. Remember the table I talked about in the brain, right? If there's nothing on that table, what's going to park right in the middle of it? Huh? Desire. That's what's going to park right in the middle of it. Your desire to do drugs is so contingent upon your environment. It really is. Why do you think prison is such an unbelievable place for addicts to develop? Because what is there to do? I mean, you take everything away, and all you've got is drugs. Trust me when I tell you, you're going to do drugs. Unless you are really, really dedicated to staying sober, the desire to do drugs in prison is all encumbering, because there's nothing else going on. And this is a lesson, people. Sobriety is something we could talk about all day long, right? But getting off the drugs isn't the issue. Truthfully, you want some myths? It is really hard to quit drugs. No, it's not. It's not. Forget it. I don't care what anyone says. You know how you quit drugs? You go just like this. I'm not doing that anymore. You quit. Now, to stay that course becomes a difficult thing, but to quit is just a matter of saying, I'm done. That's how that process starts. So it's not difficult to quit. It's difficult to get sober. It's difficult to remain sober. But to quit doing drugs, you just remove the drugs. You say, I'm not doing this anymore. And that is not that difficult, honestly. The decision is easy. It's living the life that's difficult. Another of the great rumors is that you can't help somebody unless they want to be helped, right? So take me, for instance. What, I wanted to be helped? I went to him and said, lock me up in federal prison because that is going to get me set. That's the silliest thing you ever heard, right? It doesn't make any sense for someone to think what Tommy wanted was to get arrested and put in prison because he was ready to get help. No. The circumstances put me into a position where I had to evaluate my life. I wasn't ready to get help. I didn't want to quit. I didn't. But I was given an opportunity to start really taking a hard look at my life. And in doing that, so don't get caught up in everything that you're going to hear and all of the fallacies and all of that. You know you, right? Better than I do, better than anyone else does. You know you. But what I know is this. I know that if you quit and you sit in a room and go like this, man, I'm going to do some dope. It's going to be that fast. I got to get a drink. That's it, man. I got to get a drink. You know, I can't do this. Of course you can't do this. You're sitting in a room where the only focus of your life is nothing. There's nothing going on. What are you going to think about? You're going to think about exactly what you're trying to get that out. Two things can't occupy the same space at the same time, right? Idle hands are the devil's workshop, workplace, work thing, workbench. There's something that the devil has something to do with. I'm sure you know the expression. I'm not. Yeah, I think it's the devil's workshop. Idle hands at the devil's workshop. If you got nothing going on, people, then you are not trying to get sober. If you're trying to get sober, you're going to structure your life in such a way that your brain is going to get rewarded for doing things other than dope. When those little mice are running around, that's what's happening. They're getting the reward. They're getting the reward for going through that maze and finding the food, right? That is a job well done. They're getting the reward from working out. Running on that wheel is going to give them just what it does for us. They may not be thinking, I really like to get buffed up because the other female rats are going to dig me. The thought process may not be the same, but it's going to have the same effect. You're going to have the endorphins are going to get kicked out if you exercise. So you need to start going down that road. I am going to be talking about how I lost weight, and I'm going to be talking about it this weekend. I'm going to say what it is I did, right? Doesn't mean it's going to work for you. However, what it is going to do is give you some ideas, because some of what I did will work for you. Maybe not all of it, but some of it is definitely going to work for you. Hold on one moment. Unbelievable. Jack. How are you, man? How are you? Guess what I'm doing? I'm filming a video as we speak. But since I was about 12 minutes in, and it's a fairly good one, I figured I would just pick up the phone and say hi to you. What I'm going to do is I'm going to call you back as soon as this is over. If no one here knew you, I wouldn't have picked up the phone, but this is you, so I'm going to call you as soon as this is over, all right? All right, brother, love you. That is my friend Jack. I've told you guys all about Jack. Jack is a success story. Jack has been sober, I want to say 7 years, man. How cool is that? You'll meet Jack. You'll meet Jack probably pretty soon. He is, Jack's he's my best friend outside of Johnny. That's my guy. So, all right, people, the point being that if any of this is going to work, you are not going to structure your life in such a way so that there's nothing going on. Over the weekend, I will talk about how I lost weight. It's not going to fit everybody, but it's going to give you enough of a framework where you're going to find what works, okay? There are so many ways for every person on the planet, there's probably a weight loss book that's been written. But if what you're struggling with is weight loss, I promise you, if you're sitting around going like this, food's going to be the number one thing you think of. You do not have to become Jane Fonda, right? You do not have to become the guy that does P90X, but you have to do some exercise. That's going to trigger feel-good chemicals in the brain that come from something other than food. That's a brick, right? And you keep building the bricks, and you keep building the bricks, and pretty soon you got a wall. And the bigger you build that, the less chance that desire and that hunger and all of the things that drive you are going to bust through that wall. And that doesn't matter if it's gambling, that doesn't matter if it's eating, that doesn't matter if it's drugs, that doesn't matter if it's porn. You understand? All of these things, it literally is just the same phenomenon, right? Video games, social media. Do you know how many people there are out there? They've done studies on this. You get that same feel-good chemical from people hitting like on your post in Instagram. And there are people who get addicted to that. Believe it. There are people that spend 70 hours a week on Instagram. Is that healthy? Once again, my job is not to tell you if what you're doing is a problem for you. If I start doing that, I hope everybody runs away. Because that means I'm getting sanctimonious and holier than thou. And if I ever become that cat, the comment section better light me up. Right? Because we're all in this boat together. I am not any better than anyone else. I will say this. I'm the mayor of Realville, and I've said that from Jump Street. There's a reason I have 1,000 subscribers, and it's not because I'm the greatest guy on the planet. It's because I had 2 huge people help me out in this. Obviously, Johnny and Mark. The combo of the 2 of them is why I'm at 1,000. It's the truth. Now, I'm the mayor of Realville. I'm not the humblest guy in the world. I'm fairly good at speaking, right? I'll give myself credit where credit is due. But I'm not ever, I don't want to become, I don't want you to make me into something I'm not, all right? I'm a good speaker. And I do care. I promise you that. I care. I care to a fault because I've been there. And there's nothing in the entire world worse than not being able to stop something that you really know is awful. Right? So this is a home where everybody cares. So check this out. Tell me I'm not the coolest dude in the world. Watch this. So if you dig what I'm doing, right about here, right? I think it's right about here. This should be the subscribe button. High tech. This is the subscribe button. You hit subscribe. You become part of this. You're going to be on the boat with us. You already know you're in the boat with us. You may as well get on board and let all of us help you out because we're all in the same boat. And there should be a video over here, right? So watch some more videos. Please, people, share them. Pass it on. We want this boat to have to be replaced soon, right? We want the biggest boat in the world. We want to affect as many lives as we possibly can. We want nothing but positive. Thank you for all of the positive comments. Thank you because you're helping other people. You're not just talking about me. Those comments are awesome. My name is Tommy Scoville. This here would be the Tommy Scoville Show. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, people, the best is yet to come. I'm not just saying that. The best is yet to come. God bless everyone.